real quick, you need to read about the Great Depression. They're all going to tell you that people are dying in the streets. Hopefully nobody actually uses those words. And what do you guys say, right? What's nobody is actually dying in the streets, like, ever. This just doesn't happen.
It was just to
do they just say that to push the agenda that we need more?
It's exactly why they push that image. It is exactly why they push that. I mean, there is no other. Most of the people writing these textbooks have a very particular point of view, and that's exactly why they're doing it. I don't care. You read it. This is what you need to get. Some of your textbooks will make this obvious. Some will not. So I'm just going to give you a heads up. There are 2 New Deals. Okay? Because there were 2 elections. This is very common sense. Why are there 2 New Deals?
term renew.
Yes. So Hoover has to be blamed because that's why we have to get FDR in the White House. So it's super easy. The economy is terrible. It's his fault. Good. What happens in 1935?
FDR.
Whose fault is it?
FDR's.
It has to be his fault, right? Because there's no one else to blame. You can't blame Hoover anymore. And the Depression, is it still going on? Well, yeah. Modern folks actually make the argument that it was the New Deal that made the Depression longer than it had to be. But we'll put that aside. Your textbooks will not talk about that. So in 1935, he has to explain why he should be reelected. And his answer is, I've got a new plan. I didn't have enough time to do it, so this is my new plan. Now, just to keep in mind, when we talk about a deal, this isn't like a car sale. Like I'm giving you a new deal to beat the old deal. This is a deal for you. Think of it in time when people played poker all the time. What does it mean, a new deal? How many of you guys play poker?
No. Sheepside.
Everybody looks at their cards. Everybody says, I'm just going to fold. These are horrible cards. And so then you get a new deal. Do you get that? And that's what FDR is saying. We're going to give everybody a new deal. So you start from scratch, right? The point here, this is aimed at recovery. Some of your textbooks will mention this. The second one is aimed at relief. Can someone be really smart and understand the difference between recovery?
Well, recovery is trying to go back to normalcy, but you can't because it's not over, so you can't recover from something that's not over.
You need to fix the economy. So you have to fix whatever's wrong with it. It's like a system, right? What is relief?
Relief is government handouts.
That's exactly. Now, if you failed in fixing the economy, in other words, the Depression is still going on, then what's the best way to get people to vote for you?
Offering them.
You give your God some money.
But
Good.
if we look at like the theme that we've learned in history class with how things will work themselves out, we know that the government can't just.
Well, see, this is a relatively recent argument, but some people would argue that the government competes with private enterprise, and because of that, the privates cannot recover. And those people would argue that the New Deal actually made the Great Depression longer. What ends the Great Depression?
World War II.
It's totally it. And when does World War II begin?
45.
We enter in 41, but when does the war begin? 39. Are we utterly ignorant in thinking that we are totally going to be unaffected by this? No, we start ramping up like immediately. So that's why the demand increases and the economy gets out of the doldrums as early as 39. It has nothing to do with the New Deal programs. What will your textbooks tell you?
Thank you, FDR. You did an amazing
They'll
job.
say that Hoover is the devil. They'll say that FDR is obviously a saint, and that it's because of him that people were not dying in the streets as much as they could have. It's an argument.
Will we talk about the Dust Bowl as well?
Yeah, funny thing about the decibel. When is the decibel? And you need to understand this in terms of chronology. When is the decibel?
Mid-30s.
36. Are farmers in trouble in 32? Yes. 4 years before the decibel. Why are farmers in trouble?
Because they're tilling, and...
No, not before that. Because of the new technologies that provides much higher yields. And so you have high yields, what does that do to your price? They're having a constant problem. But here's the real rub. How much do they get? How do they get the technology?
More money.
You got to spend money, so you've got higher debt and lower prices. That's why they're having a problem.
This is literally milk marketing. Right?
This is exactly, it happens all the time, right? So it has nothing to do with the decibel. I'm saying that to you because I can't tell you how many students said, yeah, the decibel hit the country horribly. So the first thing that FDR does in I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous, is in 1933 he passes the Agricultural Adjustment Act. It's 3 years before the decibel begins. It wasn't the decibel that's causing the problem with agriculture. It's the fact that we've had a problem with agriculture for a long time because it's what happened with industrialization. Remember in 1896, what were the populists complaining about? Basically the same things, the whole bimetallism thing. If we get more cash, we have less debt. If we have less debt, maybe we get to get out of it. It wasn't a good solution. But it's not like a new problem. It's a permanent problem. It's just what happens with bronze industrial age. Okay, you guys are so eager to get out of here. Totally got it. 17 minutes early. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. And what are you going to read about?
Great questions.
Boom! New Deals and